class.
Good morning, Miss.
Okay, today we are going to have our material or our lesson for today, which is reading. And by the way, I am first here. This is my first time to teach you in this new class for me. Which class are you? B class?
Yeah, big class.
Okay. And now, since this is my first time to teach here, so my name is Miss Renta, and I think I need to know your name one by one, maybe from you.
Okay, let me introduce myself. Good morning, Santa. My name is Safina.
Okay. Hello, Safina. Nice to meet you. And you?
My name is Yusua.
Okay, Safina and Joshua. Okay, before we start our lesson for today, it's good for us to say our short prayer, maybe led by Joshua.
Okay, before we start our lessons today, let's say our short prayer, shall we? Amen, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joshua. Now, since this is outdoor learning for us, so actually I have prepared a PowerPoint from the Canva that I will send you from the WhatsApp group. Please open the link. Yeah. Also, you use the same device to open this link. It's okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, today we would like to learn about reading comprehension strategies. But before we move to the material, I will ask you, maybe do you have any challenges in reading comprehension skill, or when you read, what difficulties or challenges that you found or you experienced in your reading activity? Maybe one of you or you both can share your experience. Okay, which one?
I think for me, when I read a text or a paragraph, I found myself difficult to understand what I'm reading, what I'm trying to read, especially in academic text or paragraph.
Okay, so you is found a challenge to get the general idea of what you read. Okay. Okay, we will discuss it later, but maybe Safina, you have another challenges or difficulties?
I think for me, challenges that I faced when it comes to reading comprehension is sometimes I found a new vocabulary that is very not familiar. Like I don't understand it at all, so it kind of prevent me to understand the whole idea of the paragraph.
Okay, so your difficulties is on vocabulary. Okay. And now, please see the second slide of our PowerPoint. So we will learn about how do we master or how do we improve our reading comprehension skills. Actually, because you said that you have found some challenges like vocab, or it's hard for you to get the general idea of what you've read. So if we see here, the first thing or the basic things that you have to know, that you have to be master first before you want to be able to read anything that you want to read is, the first is you have to choose the right level of difficulty for the reading input that you want to read. So please use the reading input that is not too easy for you, but not also too difficult for you. So, but maybe sometimes, even though you have choose the maybe the level of the reading input that you want to read, but sometimes there are also still some of new vocabulary that you get from that material. But that's okay if you are just find maybe not too many new words for you. So for me, what I have experienced is you have to be able to understand the vocab at least maybe 90% of the vocab. You have to know it first, so you can understand what you will read if you are still have so many new words in your reading input. So please choose the right input for you. And maybe for Joshua, your challenges or your difficulties in reading is related to the second point of this teach, which is master critical thinking. So actually, the the urgency that you found is when you can catch the general idea, or when you can catch the general meaning, or the general things, the general topic of what you read is it's related to maybe you can maybe you just don't mastery the critical thinking first, because in critical thinking you have to think organizedly and you have to be able to connect the dot from one premise to another premise, so you can get some like conclusion of what you've read, something like that. So actually, to be able to read, you have to understand the critical thinking first. But because in critical thinking there are some, I think some principle or some standard that you have to apply when you read or when you think about anything. You have to be clear. You have to have clarity, precision, accuracy, relevance, and so on. Because that principle will help you to understand anything that you read, anything that you listen, maybe something like that. You will be helped with those principles. So, and the last tips or the last things that you can do to improve your reading comprehension skills is you have to expand your skill with a more varied type or kind of reading input. And that's actually what we're going to learn, what we're going to do in today's meeting. So, please move to the next slide. So, there are some types of reading input that you can have or that you can use to practice your reading skill, which are the first one there is story, dialogue, advertisement, letter, and so on. There are still so many kind of input that you can use, but yeah, from this list, what kind of input that you have hmm, you have read before? Maybe Joshua, what kind of type you have read before?
I think I've read them all. Story, dialogue, advertisement, lecture, announcement, biography,
Good.
expert article.
Okay, good. And yeah, some of them is we almost or we familiar with some of them because we found or we just easy to find them in our daily life, right? Like maybe announcement, it's somewhat familiar in our for us in our daily life. And yeah, so I have, please move to the next slide. I have some uh, example for you or some questions that you have to, we have to answer it together anyway. The first one is in form of dialogue, so maybe I want you guys to uh, membagi part to read this dialogue. Maybe the first, maybe for Fuji, maybe it could be Safina, and for Inka, it could be Joshua. Let's read the dialogue.
Inka, your mother is an English teacher, right?
That's right. How do you know it, Fuji?
Ahmad, my cousin, told me. You know Ahmad, don't you? He was your friend when you were at 7A.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, so the question is, why does Inka know Ahmad? So why? Why does Inka know Ahmad?
Ahmad is Inka's cousin.
Oh, please read again the dialogue. I think the answer is
Oh, Inka. Inka tuh classmate. Ahmad is Inka's classmate.
correct. So the answer is A. Ahmad is Inka's classmate. Now, from this dialogue, uh, try to reflect how you can understand, how you can answer the question from this example. Anyone want to answer? How? So how you can understand? Why you can understand this? Maybe
I think it's from we have to pay attention on Fuji's explanation that she mentioned that Ahmad is her cousin, but later that she mentioned that Ahmad is also Inka's classmate when they are in 7th.
Exactly. So this is what I tell you before. In read something, you have to understand the language first. So the first thing to do is you have to understand the language, right? If you not understand English, you will not be able to answer this question also. And the second one is um, you have to be able to understand the logic of this dialogue. If you're not understand the logic first, you have you are not able to catch what this dialogue is about, so you will not be able to answer the question. Now, and then yeah, and then we move to the second example, which is in form of letter. Please move to the next slide. So here I provide an example of a simple letter, just a simple letter for an example for you in today's material. So I will read the letter. So, dear Fernando, I will arrive at home about 7 p.m. and your father will arrive about 6 p.m. Take care at home and don't forget to turn on the lamp. Love, Mom. Who wrote the question is who wrote the message? So, what is the answer?
B.
B. Fernando's mother. You guys correct. Answer it correct. And nah, the second example is related to the third tips, the third point of our material, which is to expand your input, your type or your kind of input in reading skill. Because from this example, you can so why again why do you know the answer is B? Because you have already familiar with the form, right? You have already, you know, oh, the sender or who wrote the message is in the last part of the letter, right? You already familiar with it, so you know the answer. You know who wrote this message because you already know the part of the letter, right? And we move to the third example, which is in form of narrative text. And here there are 3 paragraphs, but I will just divide it into 2 parts, which is paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. I will make it into 1 part, and then the last paragraph or the third paragraph will be just 1 part. And I will you read maybe one of you read paragraph 1 and 2, and one of you read the third paragraph. Please, who wants to read paragraph 1 and 2? Okay, sorry.
Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Charles were on a tour of Europe. They were traveling on a guided tour to 5 countries. They were going to travel through the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, and France for 2 weeks. The guide for the tour was a Swiss. On the first day of travel, the guide told them to check their passports, their traveler checks, and their foreign cash. He told them to keep them safe.
They traveled in a comfortable coach with a toilet, music, and video. The guide stopped the coach at many famous places. He explained the cultural importance of the place. They stayed in big hotels for the night and ate at the restaurant on the way. They stopped at a small restaurant for lunch. In big towns, they went shopping. They bought a lot of souvenirs for their friends. They enjoyed the 2 week tour tremendously.
Okay, thank you. So, what the text is about? A trekking, B shopping, C visiting, and D traveling. Okay, traveling. You answered correctly. And again, why do you know the text is about traveling?
Because it is about traveling. Because now it is about traveling.
Okay, actually it's correct. So you know the text is about traveling because there are some things or some words that maybe indicates that the text is about traveling, right? And even in this text, there are really say or really imply that like there is words like travel and even there is words traveling itself in the text. from today's material, I want you guys to sum up or to share your insights of what you have learned from today's meeting. Maybe from Joshua or Safina? Safina.
Okay, so what I get from today's material is I think it is important for us to read many of various reading input to enhance our reading comprehension because different reading input means different structure. So because we learn many reading input, we can know the difference, the difference of the structure. Then we can understand it. So we're not just understanding one type of reading input, but many because we decide to learn many reading input, so we can enhance our reading knowledge.
Okay, good job. Thank you, Safina. I think that's all of today's material. No, actually, after this, we will have continue to the next material about which is writing. But maybe before it, I want we have a little break for you, and I will prepare some of the tools that I need to do that part of that material of today's main thing also. So please have a little break first, and yeah, thank you everyone. Be prepared for the next session.